Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell are two of the best young guards in the league, and according to me, the two most underappreciated shooting guards in the league. Both of them have shown up big time, and Booker has been amazing as a first time playoff performer. Both of them are compared to each other quite a lot. Today, I'm not here to tell you who's better between them. I'm here to appreciate their greatness and play. I've already made a video about Donovan Mitchell. Check it out if you haven't already. And now, I'm going to be talking about Devin Booker.
They be like, what?
Can you teach me how to duck it? You know why? Cause all the bitches love it. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin'. And for you to back it up and dump it.
Leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I preview all the playoff series and make videos such as this very regularly. If that is something which interests you, do subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned before, Booker is one of the most underappreciated players in the league. He has had a weird history coming into the playoffs. He has had all kinds of tags around him: empty stats, ball hog, good stats on a bad team, to name some. Most of these are dumb to begin with. Booker is an exceptionally talented player, and though it feels like he's been in the league forever, he's only a month older than Donovan Mitchell. He's only 24-year-old and is already one of the best scoring guards in the league. This is his first playoffs, but let's look into the seasons from the start. Booker made an all-rookie first team as a rookie. He was third in Rookie of the Year voting, only behind Karl-Anthony Towns and Kristaps Porzingis, who is both better than as of now. He was a below-average shooter from the field, but you could see the off-the-dribble potential in him. He shot 34.3% from 3 and 37% from mid-range. Though the mid-range shot or the 3 aren't as efficient as you'd hope, he was only a rookie, and this was a very good efficiency for a rookie. He had games where he was very efficient and his off-the-dribble shot was above average in the league. Phoenix were the 14th seed this year, and them being a small market and an irrelevant team didn't give Devin Booker nearly enough shine for the general public. Then came his sophomore season where he took a massive jump. He started realizing that he was going to be an elite mid-range shooter, and that's exactly what he did. He took much fewer threes and many more shots from mid-range this season. He held the same efficiency and actually increased his efficiency a bit. He averaged 22 points per game on 18 shots per game. He held the exact same efficiency, which is great for any sophomore. Keeping the same efficiency on a much higher volume is not something easy for any player, first of all. He also started realizing he was faster than most of the guards in the league, and he drove into the lane much more and was more aggressive. He got more free throws per game, and this is something which he has carried on. But again, they were the worst team in the West, and Booker went under the radar again. The next season was where the doubt started to creep into him much more. He averaged 25 points per game while increasing his three-point volume. He was a near all-star and one of the best mid-range scorers in the league. He gave us all flashbacks with his beautiful stroke from mid-range, which he consistently knocked down. He hit 40% of his shots from 10 to 16 feet and 45% from 16 to 3-point line. But guess what? Everything was ignored again. They were still the worst team in the league. People didn't watch the game consistently, and Booker was called out for his team's performances because he was the most relevant player on that team. But everyone who has consistently watched the Suns knows Booker wasn't the reason they're losing. He was hitting such tough shots, it was ridiculous. He did what he could, but he had little to no support on the team. Yes, every player on the team which is not doing well has to take some blame, but not all the blame was deserved to be given to him. TJ Warren and Elfrid Payton were the second and third best scorers, and that is not good at all. This is actually when people officially gave him his empty stats tag, and your 22-year-old Booker took all the criticism. Then came the nail in the coffin for his haters. The Suns were 19 and 63 in the 18-19 season and were the worst team in the league. Devin Booker again took another unexpected jump, and he didn't get credit for that. Again, empty stats itself is the dumbest narrative ever. If you ever watch a team and the players for more than 20 minutes of your life, you can recognize their talent. Karl-Anthony Towns, De'Aaron Fox and Devin Booker are just some players who are considered empty stats. But try asking their fans that. I know it might be a slightly biased opinion, but at the end of the day, they want the best for their team. If they really feel it's empty stats, they really won't try to defend their guy. Like Andre Drummond and the Detroit Pistons. Drummond is the only player who I believe can be called out for empty stats and be justified for it. And the Detroit Pistons fans actually accepted that. But any Suns, Timberwolves or Kings fan would have never told you because they know what exactly that guy is. So before you want to tag someone as empty stats, talk to a good friend or who you trust who is a fan about their guy. Back to Booker's 18-19 season. This is when he took his playmaking jump because the Suns had no other above average ball handlers. Eric Bledsoe had left the team, who wasn't really a great ball handler either. He had an about 2 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, which is amazing for any third year player. He started making other players better, but no credit of course. But then the Suns made moves. They put around Booker, his best team, and guess what happened? They went from the worst team to the league to tied for the 8th seed during the bubble. This may not seem as impressive to many people, but context matters. He had a very similar stat sheet but on much better efficiency. He was a top 3 mid-range player in the league and a top off the dribble shooter. He shot 35% from 3 and 49% from the field. He averaged 6 assists again, and he had another good ball handler in Ricky Rubio, which did slightly help him. They went 8-0 to end the season in the bubble, and Booker was a big reason why. He was, according to me, the second best player in the bubble regular season, just behind Damian Lillard. His supporting cast hit their shots, and that's all they needed to be a competitive team. Then comes this season. Devin Booker for the Suns this year averaged 25.4 points per game and 4.4 assists per game on 4.8% from field and 34% from 3, and made the All-Star team as a reserve for Anthony Davis. And a large reason for this was his partner in backcourt, his best teammate so far, Chris Paul. Booker is one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. He's very clutch and can go off on any given night. He's a walking bucket, and one of the things I'm most impressed about Booker is his desire to win. The Phoenix Suns before this season were one of the faster teams in the league, and Booker was a big reason for that. Though they had Rubio at a point, Booker had much higher usage rate of 30% last year. He had the ball in his hands a lot and put up great numbers. This year, his numbers have actually gotten slightly worse. I can very confidently say he's gotten better as a player this year. He's got to play next to a guard in Chris Paul, who initiates the offense for him, and he plays at his own pace. They're now the slowest team in the league, and though Booker's usage rate hasn't gone down this season, his numbers and the time he holds the ball as a primary ball handler have gone down. But he barely looks like he cares. Everyone who thought Booker was empty stats have been proved wrong this season. His playmaking, decision making, even his pick and roll ball handling have improved this season. His percentage from mid-range has hit a complete other stratosphere, and he has done this while being guarded by the best perimeter defender on the opponent team. Yes, the inclusion of Chris Paul sure as hell helps, but anyone watching Booker from the start knew this was going to come around if he had a good team around him. Just look at the series against the Lakers. The Suns missed Chris Paul due to a shoulder injury, and even when he was back, he wasn't nearly the Chris Paul we know. But it didn't matter. Devin Booker completely took over. Him and Ayton murdered the Lakers on the pick and roll, and he was by far the best player on the series, and this series consisted of LeBron James. They were up against the best defense in the league, but Devin Booker is just like that. It didn't matter. Even in the current series against the Nuggets, Chris Paul is back and is effortlessly moved back into his original role. He's the best scorer in the series and is dominating the weak Nuggets defense. The Suns sometimes can't score, and Booker just takes over in these situations. Devin Booker is arguably a top 15 player in the league. He's only 24 and is already one of the most efficient all-around scorers in the league. He has gone through 5 seasons where they were one of the worst teams in the league, but one season, one good team, and he wiped all that away. People are slowly realizing how good and how big of a bucket he is. But he deserves credit for the amount of adversity he's gone through. You can see the Kobe in his game and his mentality. His off-the-dribble mid-range shots gives flashbacks to anyone who watched Kobe. According to me, he's a better playmaker than Kobe, though he never will be the defender or maybe even the ridiculous scorer Kobe was at his prime. But he is going to be the first Devin Booker. Leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. I preview almost all the playoff series and make interesting videos such as this, and should be doing it more consistently from now on. And if these are things that do interest you, do subscribe to my channel.